back into this project. We have filled up everything with a bunch of cooling loop. Alright my friends, watching a lot of National Geographic prepared me for this moment. You're stealing from the colony, Bahi. You were caught in the act. Look at her face, she knows she got caught. Hello there, I'm the Biz Manager and welcome back to Oxygen Not Included. Now, today my friends, we are going to complete our build over here, but before we even do anything, I just want to cancel a few things, because I came up with a new design, so let's just deconstruct a few things over there. But yeah, today we are going to focus a little bit on getting this nasty creatures, okay, crab-looking nasty creatures farm going, something that we, a place where we can have, you know, our dupes take care of those creatures safely, so that there is never contact with the eggs and the critters, so they don't get all mad on us, like these little guys over here. Look at them, all mad. Yeah, we want to avoid that at all costs, and this happens when they have access to eggs. They are very protective of their eggs for some reason. In any case, we are going to take care of that. However, our team of builder dupes will be focusing their attention on this place. We have plenty to clean up and plenty to build, so I'm just going to leave them be. While this thing is rolling, we are going to attempt to melt most of this ice and turn it eventually into steam, so that we can create a planetary scale sauna. Will that happen? We'll see. We'll see. These volcanoes will have to cooperate with us a lot, but oh well. That is going to be our objectives for today. Get all of those things rolling. In the background, we are going to just be collecting water from the water world. We have a cargo rocket going back and forward between the main planet and the water world, so that we can get all that water in, and hopefully over time we'll be able to fill up all of our reserves over here. They are looking pretty nice already, especially in comparison to where things were a few episodes ago. Everything is looking much better, but we can even increase all of this storage by a lot. So let's continue transporting all of that water from both this planet over here, where we are transporting salt water, and from the water world itself. And of course, the asteroids that we are mining, like for example the helium cloud over here, where we also get a little bit of water and some hydrogen. But well, my friends, what kind of modifications are we going to do to the plan that past me put into effect is quite simple. Before we had the chamber over here, the eggs would end up over here, the critter sensor would detect that an egg at edge, drop eggs and critters into the ranch area, right? That would lead a small opportunity where the eggs would exist over here for the crab-looking thingies to get angry at us, right? However, if we have a dual chamber system, I know this is more complicated than it needs to be, but oh well, why not? If we have a dual chamber system, what we do, right? We send the eggs over here, the eggs hatch, the critter sensor open the door, critter and eggs drop into the first chamber, or in this case into the second chamber, where this thingy will be accounting the eggs. Auto sweeper will put the eggs back into the conveyor loader, which will send them over here. This door should be shut by then, right? We are going to use a loop similar to this one to open and close that door rather quickly. And after all the eggs are removed from this chamber, only the critter will exist, and the door will open and the critter will drop over here. Hopefully, that way we will prevent all the eggs from ever being in contact with those nasty looking thingies, and then we can even deploy, or in this case put the initial eggs that we are going to get from somewhere in the system using a conveyor loader. Now you might be wondering, this is a lot of conveyor loaders and a lot of rails. Yeah, this is a little bit expensive on the material side, but to be honest, once we get into the hundreds of thousands of resources, I don't think the price tag is of any concern. By the way, my friends, I think the game agrees with our course of action. We are not going to take any of these blueprints, but I just want to point out that the game is giving us a farmer, a rancher, and a slickster, which is all part of the plan that we have set up in the last episode. So yeah, I think this is a way of the game telling us, hey, I agree with your course of action. Of course, with that we are not going to take the slickster just yet, we don't have a chamber for it, nor are we going to take any of those two dupes because they suck completely. They are absolutely terrible dupes. Yeah. Now we have space to make more bedrooms, which means that hiring is once again open. So once we see a need for a certain type of dupes, all we need to do is make a bedroom for that kind of dupe, make a bedroom and then search for that kind of dupe. Alright, my friends, so we are almost done over here. We are just missing a couple of rails here and there, and we'll be able to close this thing off. So, now we only need is to get those eggs and we should be golden. Now, how does this complicated looking thing works? It's quite simple, actually. So, the eggs will be inputted via this conveyor loader or via the auto sweeper over here, which is going to send them via that conveyor loader over there into this chamber, right? Over here we are going to wait for them to hatch. This thingy is going to be counting critters. Once one critter hatches, it's going to send a green signal because it's going to be above 0. Let's just simulate that. Below 1, right? Green signal is sent, door is open, and critters and eggs fall into the secondary chamber, right? Now let's just put this back where it was, because once everything falls down, it's going to go red again, right? Resetting the entire system. Now we have eggs and critters over here. This thing over here controls the amount of critters. We want it to check if it is below 1 once all the eggs are extracted. It's going to be below 1, which is going to send a green signal. Opening the door, the critter falls down, the loop closes the door, and this is going to stay green until more eggs fall down, which is going to reset the system and let this loop run once again. Alright, so with this explained, the final piece is the rot chamber over here. We are still missing a few things that I just thought about to increase the efficiency of our chamber. So, pretty much, right, our automatic rail system picks up all the food that we are creating in our farmhouse and through a system of rails sends it into our fridge over here, right? However, we are going to bypass that in the pinches plus lettuce production over here, right? They got picked up by these conveyor loaders over here and over here, send this rail through here, which is going to go through these conveyor chutes, these conveyor shutoffs, right? If the particular tile is below 10 kilograms, missing pretty much meaning that there is nothing here, food will be allowed to drop into these tiles. Eventually they are going to start closing off the shutoffs, the food is going to continue and then be inputted into our main return line so that it can be sent into our fridge, because we don't want all of it to turn into rot, just a part of it, right? Especially because we don't really have a huge use for these thingies, so why not? Now, over here we are also going to construct a gas pump. This gas pump is going to extract the carbon dioxide, creating a vacuum. Now, things are still going to rot. It's going to take them a little while, but that's fine, because once they rot, because there is a vacuum, they will off-gas polluted oxygen, which means that the next batch after that is going to rot much faster. We want to replace the carbon dioxide with polluted oxygen, because carbon dioxide is an inert gas, meaning that the food gets a buff or a debuff to its refrigeration status, right? So pretty much it just makes the food spoil slowly when it is in carbon dioxide. However, polluted oxygen or regular oxygen, that is no longer the case. Oh look, we have our very first pincher going through our bypass over here, which means that we will have some rot being produced soon. Hopefully the dupes won't think about getting this thingy, but right here we can see that we have unrefrigerated, meaning the freshness will drop at a steady pace. However, as you can see over there, sterile atmosphere. If we get rid of this carbon dioxide and replace it with polluted oxygen, we are going to get a -18 on that particular thingy over there, meaning that we are actually spoiling the food a little bit faster. Now, my friends, bookshelves aside, over here on this planet our dupes have been building and have been busy. Our space heaters have been built, which means that now we have a constant source of heat over here. Now, these things, they don't produce that much heat, okay? They are not ultra great. This is going to be an overtime thingy, right? There is just way too much coldness, shall we say, over here on this part of the map. But you know, this over time will eventually end up doing something, right? And that's the something that we are looking for. Unfortunately, this is not capable of reaching in there, right? We can see that no matter how much hot we get over here, eventually it never reaches this area, meaning this water never melts and blah 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 blah. So we are just transferring some of this chillness over here in the form of temperature shift plates, but the heat will have to be taken care of by this. And besides, we have our batteries full of power most of the time, so yeah, we are not operating anything else. Let's just dump that power in the form of heat down there. And you know what, my friends, I am looking at this area and I'm thinking, you know what's missing? A fertilizer chamber. Yep, we are out of fertilizer. The only fertilizer that we have had until this point is pretty much from the printing pod, but yeah, we probably should make our own. It's not that difficult and it's quite the benefit. 50% like speed bonus, I'm pretty sure. But for that, I require these thingies, the Fertilizer Synthesizer. These things, right, they require dirt, phosphorite, and polluted water. All very easy to bring over here. We have polluted water right here, and we have phosphorite being delivered to this chamber and dirt being delivered to this chamber. So we only have to create a line to bring those thingies over here, and we should be golden. This thing should be something like this and like this. I'm pretty certain one of these, yep, can take care of everything, right? And then we just put the inputs over here and the outputs as well, something along these lines. One input, one output. Bam, bam, bam. And then the fertilizer will go and just be delivered over here, where we are gonna get one of these bad boys, smart bin, which is going to be connected to an automation wire, but this thing needs to be built first so that it drops the fertilizer over there. Please don't make it out of leather. Not leather. uh, lead, that's what I meant. And now this thing is just so that we don't overmake fertilizer. That thing costs resources, not exactly like things that we don't have. We have a lot of those things. But if we can avoid overmaking stuff, it would probably be for the best. Now there is one thing missing from this chamber, which is one view, and then some automation with one view, probably over here. The reason for that is these things produce both fertilizer and natural gas, and well, we can take advantage of that by harnessing that natural gas and sending it and putting it into circulation. Interesting. So the rotten is not off-gassing? Really? Okay. That's interesting, I suppose. Oh well, that's totally fine. That's totally fine. I mean, at least we already have a little bit of rotten ready for when we got ourselves our very first poke shell, which is probably going to take a little bit of time, but oh well. Good news, my friends, our Fertilizer Synthesizer Chamber is already done. It's not yet operational because I want to vacuum it out first. There is a little bit of carbon dioxide still left, but eventually it is going to go all out. We have this liquid shut-off, preventing the polluted water from getting in there, which is the only thing preventing this entire thing from working. But yeah, it's quite simple. The fertilizer will be brought over here via rails, right? Once this thing is full, it's going to send a signal to prevent any further fertilizer from being synthesized. so that we don't waste a bunch of resources into infinite amount of fertilizer, right? And yeah, the natural gas will then be extracted, put in its own storage, and then just be put into circulation. All we have to do is connect it right there, bam, and that's pretty much it. This will help us out get even more kilocalories per cycle, which I mean, it's not like we need it, but why not? Let's just make one of these because we don't have any. But well, my friends, this thing now it's going to take its time, especially the bookshelf thingy. We might have to wait for a little while. Which means we should focus on other things. This one other thing is going to be this thing over here, right? I am putting super coolant into the cooling loop. This is a small cooling loop, and by the way, oh my god, this is such a mess. I have pipes connected that I shouldn't. This is just a small cooling loop that is going to keep both of these thingies chilled out, at least for now. If we need to increase the cooling loop later to incorporate something else, we'll do so. But for now, this is going to be it from here to here. We are going to use supercoolant, and we are going to pretty much use the supercoolant that we are going to use to chill out the turbine to be inputted into the loop itself. So let's request a few bottles of supercoolant and start inputting more into the system. Now, my friends, we are now inputting the supercoolant into the system. It's going to take a little while until all of it is complete, but that's fine. That's totally fine. Now, we want to turn this water into steam. Once we do this, the steam will touch these metal tiles, which are extremely hot, which will then propagate the temperature over the entire chamber. Now, don't worry, the steam will not reach those crazy temperatures over there. They will immediately start chill out eventually. We might break a few things here and there, but that's why we have the steam turbines over here. Eventually, the temperature will be reached, and everything is going to be fine. Besides, if we have an emergency, all we have to do is deconstruct a bunch of dry walls and everything will be as it is right now. So, in order to create that steam, we are going to take this rocket, which usually go grab hydrogen and water, and this time we are going to send it right here to collect a bunch of liquid iron. That liquid iron will then be outputted via this thing over here. Right, let's select right now before I completely forget. Liquid iron, it will be dropped in the chamber. The iron will eat up the water, which will then create the steam. So, no time like today, let's go! But well, with the vacuum achieved, let's input the polluted water. Now the polluted water is going to go through a convoluted path just so we can keep this thing chilled out. The fertilizer synthesizer creates a little bit of heat, so we are going to use this polluted water to just keep everything in check. And there we go, my friends. Fertilizer is now being produced in these facilities. Pretty cool. So now we won't have to worry about that problem ever again. Alright, my friends, new plan. Instead of me building 5 billion different temperature shift plates, how about I just pick up the ice and drop it right on top of the volcano? I think that's a far better solution, and I'm pretty certain that we are going to melt the ice much quicker that way. Alright, my friends, now back into this project. We have filled up everything with a bunch of cooling loop, which is pretty nice. What is not nice is, well, this ginormous pool of cooling loop that we got over there, but there is a pretty simple way. Oh no, doesn't fit, god damn it. I was going to say there is a pretty simple way of us dealing with it. It is, we need to put a pincher pump right there, and then we come over here and select enable auto bottle, give it a decent priority so that the dupes actually do it, and then once the pincher pump is built over here, the dupes will just start transferring the supercoolant from here to there. Oh, good news, my friends, we are starting to create a little bit of steam over here apparently. That's nice. Yeah, a few bad things might happen here and there, like broken machinery, but that's fine, that's totally fine. We'll repair the machinery and eventually the steam inside of the chamber is going to stabilize. at a proper temperature, and then the exhaust will barely make a dent in this much mass of steam. Alright, my friends, the steam has touched the metal tiles, and as we can see, the metal tile temperature has decreased significantly. The steam is now a little bit hot over here and still cold over here, but like I said, all of it just needs to stabilize, and eventually it is going to be pretty much even throughout the entire chamber. Alright, my friends, over here on this side of the cosmos, we already mined out all of the ice. All of it. I mean, there is a few bits here and there, but you get the point. Most of that stuff is already gone, which is good news, because that means that now we can temporarily sustain water in its liquid form, which means that we can then pump it over into the top of the volcanoes, which once again will absorb temperature from the iron, bringing it down, increasing the temperature of this area even further. So now we should have a positive snowball effect from the moment that we can sustain water in its liquid form, but I don't know just yet. We still have plenty of ice over here to either build temperature shift plates or to just transport and put on top of the volcanoes using automatic dispensers. Alright, my friends, I was focusing on the Frosty Planet and I didn't even notice that this rocket had come back, which is pretty nice. We now have a little bit of iron over here. I'm pretty sure that our dupes have been serving themselves. We had like 2000 units of iron. And now there is only like 100 iron left, but well, what matters is that we now have a a chamber full of steam, so objective achieved, I suppose, which is pretty nice, and we even have this thing now rolling and producing us a little bit of power, but oh well. This is done, I suppose. Moving on to the Frosty Planet over here. From time to time we still get the occasional ice block here and there, but we have been successfully pretty much transferring some of the melted ice in the form of either brine or water on top of the volcanoes, which in turn has melted more ice. Unfortunately, sometimes it just solidifies as it comes down, but we just give another sweep command and our dupes transport the ice on top of the volcano once again. So yeah, I'm pretty certain that we are speeding up the process of eating up this entire planet. Well, my friends, it might take a little while, but one thing I can tell you, once this ice starts melting, there is going to be plenty of liquid explosions, and I can't wait. I hope that we are around to witness that, because these kinds of explosions are always beautiful, but they tend to happen on the background when we are not looking at things, because the game doesn't like when we witness beautiful things. But oh well, it is what it is. What can we do? Now, my friends, I have to admit I'm a little bit impatient to test out our new facilities, but unfortunately, no eggs for the bookshelves. I have been looking at them every time we have a rocket over here to see if there is any egg, especially one of these rockets. Because these rockets have plenty of space, so all we have to do, technically, is build one of these. Where are they? A pedestal. Okay, we build a pedestal, wait for an egg to exist, and then Devon will have to go on the wrong planet, and then Devon will have to go on the run of his life to grab that egg and run. Hopefully these will be the bookshelves that will poop the next egg, because this one is far easier to get and run away than these ones. Imagine that they poop the egg right there. Devon will have to go through the 3 of them and get a hell of a spanking. So hopefully we'll be able to get an egg without many issues, but at the same time we have to wait for said egg to be pooped in the first place. Or we can try a reverse psychology on the game. You know what, game? It would be terrible if you gave me a pinchy raw egg. Jesus, I would hate that, really. It would make my day just that terrible. So don't you dare give me an egg from the printing pod. And by the way, my friends, if you think this thing, like, we didn't really need this thing, just, yeah, think again, because 100% growth speed, which means you just half the time that you need to grow a full crop, which is always amazing. And then if you have a grub, it's even more amazing, because let's see, a one with a grub tending. Can I find one with a grub blah, 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 blah. Wow, Jesus, it took me a while, but I found it. Yeah, my friends, like, if you have grubs, it's just awesome, because, yeah, a further 50% grow speed, and then if you have a sweetle, it will give it an additional 5% growth speed. I would rather have grubs to sweetles, but, well, the chance of getting one is... well, it's less. We would have to set up a farm to get spindly grub fruits, and then turn... yeah, that would be complicated just to get grubs, especially, like, we don't really need the food speed, so the grubs that we get, we put them in these two farms. In fact, I'm even going to deselect grub from here, which I don't even have selected in the first place. We can bring sweetles, that's fine. Alright, my friends, here we go. If this works, I look like a genius. If this doesn't, well, I can always edit it out and you guys will never see my failure. Mwahahaha. Here we go, my friends. Remember, it would be terrible if we get that particular egg. Screw you, game. Okay, the game caught up with my shenanigans. It knows my tactics, oh Jesus, it knows my tactics now. So I will have to come up with new strategies. Well, Klaus came to my game and said, "You have been a naughty boy this year. A lump of coal for you. Thank you, I suppose." I just noticed something pretty interesting. Every time a sweepy comes next to an egg, it acknowledges the existence of the egg, but it doesn't pick it up. Look, comes next to the egg, acknowledges its existence, but just leaves it be. Interesting. Alright, my friends, watching a lot of National Geographic prepared me for this moment. All of my experience tells me that if there is one less poke shell in each environment, that can only mean one egg is about to be pooped, because population must be maintained, right? And if one dies, one must be born. Except this time, it probably is not going to be born in this planet. It's going to go for a fantastic journey before it even hatches. Hello, what's going on over here? Travaldo, that's probably not the best... please game, thank you. That's probably, I would say, not the best location for you to see that. Game, you are having a moment, ain't you? Look at this guy, my friends. One rocket is arriving at somewhere. Let's see. Let's see, where does the rocket land? Come on. Come on. Game, you just landed a rocket somewhere. The game was having a moment, my friends, but luckily for us, it stopped. Okay. Poop an egg. Come on. Poop an egg. I'm looking at you. Come on. Right in front of me. Poop an egg. Oh, my friends, let me tell you, I have 2 presents in 4 planets, and I have 5 planets that I have to monitor. However, the inner biologist in me cannot take his eyes off of these beautiful but aggressive creatures. However, it would be nice if one of them pooped an egg, like right now, in the next couple of cycles, because this rocket is, I would say, 3... Hey, where are you going to with those rat pills? You're stealing from the colony, Bahi. You were caught in the act. Look at her face. She knows she got caught. You got caught, Bahi. You don't do that. Those pills are to stay behind, okay? You take 5 pills with you, and the others, you leave them back. Take them back, Bahi. Like, my friends, no joke. This is the second snazzy suit that we got. Yeah. The game knows what we want, and it's going to do its best not to give it to us. Okay, this is beautiful. Okay, my friends, we can see The most beautiful mess happening. I told you that we were not going to see whenever there is a water explosion because the game doesn't like to show us, but I got it. I got it and it's just absolutely gorgeous, beautiful and messy at the same time. Well, my friends, I believe we won't be seeing an egg before the end of this episode, unfortunately. Um, Yeah, so like I'm not 100% certain on how this works. All I know is that every single creature, when in the wild state, they will poop one egg during their entire lifetime, meaning that usually if you don't mess with anything, the creature's number will just maintain itself. I assume they poop their egg around the middle part of their age, right? Otherwise, it would not make sense to poop it before, because that would mean that the population would grow. So yeah, this is the oldest bookshelf with an age of 38 days. I assume we still have to wait 12 cycles before any egg is laid. Because, yeah, all others are much younger, so yeah, like if, for example, our team of builder dupes were on our own base, we could technically find a way to build a thingy. Hello, thank you. Build a one of these, a critter drop-off somewhere around here, right? We would deconstruct one thing and build one of these, bring the rancher over here, the rancher would wrangle the critter and drop it in here, we would transport it back to base and whatnot. But yeah, I'm not going to go through that effort, especially when we are in the middle of something over here. We are, let's say, 50% there to achieve our objective. We have maintained liquid water for quite some time now, which is always great, but given the amount of ice and very low temperatures that are still to be found down here, that is going to still take a little bit. We are still dependent on our dupes transporting all of this ice on top of the volcanoes to make sure that we melt it as quick as possible. So yeah, my friends, this was the episode of small details, I suppose, small improvements. We didn't really add like any major objective other than transport a bunch of water, build this thing, and hope that the game gives us what we are looking for. It didn't. That's fine. Now, my friends, this is because we don't have any more polluted water, so yeah. Plants that need polluted water won't be growing. However, I decided to remove a couple of thimbleweeds. We have plenty of fibers, and just put a couple of grub plants over here. The reason for that is, well, this way we can increase the chances of getting a grub egg. We are not doing this for the food, by the way. We are just doing this to increase their chances a little bit, and hopefully that way we'll be able to maintain a healthy population of grubs. Well, my friends, we didn't exactly get all the things that we were looking for. I mean, given that most of the objectives were just transporting water, that much is done, but we didn't get the egg that we were looking for, right? Nope, still no egg. That's to be expected. But oh well, oh well. In the beginning of the episode, I alluded to something that we were going to do over time, because it's expensive. But in this episode, I actually managed to get myself a bunch of steel, as we can see over there, and we don't really need um, a lot of that stuff for now. We can make more. Question mark, hopefully. So I think we can start constructing our monument. Why not, right, my friends? Now, I'm pretty certain that this is enough height over here to build the thingy. At least according to my faulty measurements, right? Yeah, like I'm pretty certain that we can build it in here. So, with that in mind, how about we start by making the base, and then we can get more steel to build the remaining parts of the structure. Let me tell you, my friends, I regret not taking that egg when I had the chance. Oh well, we still were not ready for it. You know, we were not ready for it. I'm going to tell that excuse to myself, so that I can forgive myself for not taking the opportunity, and now just sitting in here waiting for it to happen again. Oh well, I mean, we didn't win the war, right? But we have plenty of small victories all over the place. We now have a what I would call a safe amount of water. Should we have any problems with our water supply, our massive storage over here, well, not massive, but our big water storage over here, will be able to keep us provided for at least, I don't know, maybe 100 cycles until we figure out the problem. It took a lot of water to fill this thing up. Like, this thing has been filling up since I deconstructed that wall all those cycles ago, and only now is actually getting in there. So yeah, we consume a lot of water, and this thing takes a lot of water, so yeah, this thing, our secondary reservoir, right, took a beating. We supplied so much water to this thing and it still was not enough. But oh well, at least now eventually this is going to stop and we'll be able to start accumulating water over here. And what the hell is going on now? Of course, a piece of ice. Let me fix that. Well, my friends, with this cycle drawing in, we are almost out of time for today's episode. But I mean, we have done a few things, a few important things. Now, I was thinking, and I kinda wanted to go to a place I have not visited yet. Over here on the star map, we can see that we have still 3 planets left to visit. The Fire Planet, which is a complete mess. This is going to be interesting to deal with. The Regolith Planet, which I can't even see because I was not close by the time we discover it, and the gas planet over here. Given that this one should be pretty easy to do, I think we are going to do this one because, well, there is water to be tamed and a bunch of regolith and well, most importantly, hopefully, 2 artifacts to be found. That is like the main thingy that I'm looking for, but I won't know until I have checked out this planet. So I think that in the next episode, my friends, we are going to call in our team of builder dupes. We'll let this ice melt. Like, I mean, there is stupid amount of ice over here, right? That needs to be melted. We can just abandon this planet a little bit for a little bit of time, like we have done before. I'm pretty certain that this is far better now than what it used to be, so we can leave and then return at a later date. And when you know, we send our rocket back home, we take a peek at the regolith planet over here, and we'll see if we can find more artifacts or not. And with all of that said, I hope that you have enjoyed this episode and that you are enjoying the series so far. If you are, please consider subscribing and help the channel grow. But in the meantime, this is the Base Manager signing out. Bye bye!